Hi everyone, and welcome to the Buffett and Beyond Research Saturday ETF report. And today we're going over the best AI ETFs. And I'll explain that to you in a minute. This is August 9th, 2025. And remember, folks, if you want to live on this beach like Jimmy Buffett once did, you've got to learn how to invest even better than Warren Buffett does now. So let's go to the Buffett and Beyond Research and some of the best AI, artificial intelligence ETFs to buy and hold for the next 10 years. And this is a report from one of the ETF statistical reports. And they say you want to own these ETFs because artificial intelligence is still in the early stages of a multi-decade innovation cycle, and it's wise to align your exposure to AI with your overall risk tolerance, time horizon, and portfolio strategy. Now, they suggest that these are some of the top ETFs they're saying to get into because these are the ETFs that have the best stocks in the AI industry or part of the AI industry. In other words, semiconductors and technology ETFs. And we're going to look at each one of these in our computer program, and we're going to show you something that's very, very important. Because remember, our theory and our actual portfolio performance says if you take any ETF or any index or any mutual fund and you take the best stocks in that ETF or mutual fund or index and forget about the bottom or under or below average stocks in that ETF. So if you take the above average stocks in that ETF and leave out the below average stocks, you will outperform that ETF. And folks, this is almost 100% true. And I say almost because there's got to be one or two out there that didn't work in any particular year. But as far as we're concerned, yeah, our portfolios have been really rocking. So we're going to look at these ETFs. We're going to go to our computer program. So we're going to go to buffettandbeyond.com, and we're going to go into the subscribers locker, and we hope you're a subscriber so you can get in there. And we're going to come down here to the ETF and individual stock base, and we're going to click to access the individual stock database. So if you don't subscribe to the ETF section of our subscriptions and just subscribe to the stock analysis, you don't see this ETF. You see all stocks here, and you can go in and look up any stock. And oh gee, let's go to Amazon. So over here at the right, and you have to know the stock symbol or the stock itself, and then you can click on Amazon and you'll see why Amazon has such a nice clean surplus ROE, and we really like that. But that's not what we're here for just yet. We're going to go over here to the ETFs, and we're going to look up the ETFs that we just mentioned in the last slide. So the first one we're going to look up is the SMH, which was the first stock there. And it's the VanEck Vectors Semiconductor. We're going to click on that, and then we're going to come over here to projected 2026 ROE, and we're going to click it a couple of times right on the right. I don't know if you could see that little arrow there, but we're going to go from the highest to the lowest. So let's see what stocks they recommend. Well, Broadcom, which used to be named Avago. Gee, don't we have that in one of our portfolios? Yeah, we do. NVIDIA? Yeah, we do. Monolithic Power? Wow, boy, did this stock bounce up this past week. Taiwan Semiconductor, we keep looking at that, don't we? And ASML, we keep looking at it. AMD, we had in our portfolio. We took it out because it was in a little competition with NVIDIA. We may put it back in again. KLA Corporation is one of our hot stocks. Micron, we didn't care for. Lam Research, we used to have in our portfolio. In other words, what I'm saying is that the top stocks in this ETF, according to the return on equity, and this is the clean surplus return on equity, we already have the top stocks in some of our portfolios. All right, let's go to the next ETF, and it's AIQ. I'm going to click search. And it's the Global X Future Analytics Tech ETF. Let's click on that. Come over here to 2026 and click from just keep clicking and you go from the highest to the lowest. And oh man, don't these stocks look familiar? Yeah, we have Broadcom, we have NVIDIA, Super Microcomputer, Shopify, Netflix, Amazon. Yeah, we have all those stocks, don't we, folks? Uber Technologies down here, we just went over that last Saturday. Advanced Micro Devices, there they are again. Now, that's in our portfolios. Fortinet's in there. Salesforce, we just a little erratic in their returns, which is why we don't have it. Palantir, yeah, we have it. What's the point I'm bringing out? Is that you don't want to, let's go down to the bottom of this list. I'm going over to the right and scrolling all the way down, and we have stocks that have ROEs less than 20%, because 20% is kind of our criteria that we look at, a return on equity, 20%. And we have stocks down here with a zero ROE and negative ROEs. Well, we don't want that, because in order to outperform this ETF, we want to pick the best stocks or the above average stocks in this ETF and leave the below average stocks for somebody else to buy. We don't need it. Point I'm bringing out, the top stocks in this AIQ portfolio are stocks that we already have in our portfolios. Let's go to the next one. And it's Kathy Wood's ARC portfolio, and it's her industrial innovation portfolio. And we'll go from the highest to the lowest over here. Oh, our old friends, NVIDIA, Amazon, Taiwan Semi, Advanced Micro Devices, Google, Palantir, and Qualcomm we don't have, because look at the ROE, it's below 20%. So therefore, we don't care for these stocks that are below 20%. We just want the ones above 20%, and we have most of them in our portfolio. Let's go to the next one. And the next one, as you recall, well, you probably don't, but I'm looking at the list right here, is Robo. Put it in there, and we're going to search it, and there it is right down here, the second one here. We'll click on that, and it gives us all the stocks in that portfolio. We're going to come over here and click the highest to the lowest. Oh my gosh, look at these stocks. Yeah, we know them all. NVIDIA, now Eden Cadence Design Systems, which ROE fell. We don't care for it. Really, all we like are the top two stocks in this portfolio. The rest are below 20%. There's Intuitive Surgical, which we used to have a long time ago. And that's about it for this portfolio. So let's go to the next one, which are the QQQs. And gee, we actually have it over here in our popular ETFs, because we have a portfolio made up of the, and we could just click on this QQQ over here instead of putting it over here, either one. Click on the QQQ, come over here 2026, highest to the lowest. So we have a portfolio which has been the best performing portfolio for us over the past 7 or 8 years. And in the past 5 years, it's been up 400%. And folks, that's pretty good for a 5-year return. But look at the top stocks. Avago, or I should say Broadcom, NVIDIA, Melli, Mercado Libre, which we just went over, and boy, this stock just is going sky high. It's the Amazon of Latin America. Paychex is in one of our portfolios. Shopify. We don't have ARM portfolio in there. We do have CrowdStrike. We do have Axon. We do have Netflix. We do have Amazon. And it goes on and on. ASML, we look at every now and then. Very close to doing that. And the only reason we don't have some of these stocks is because we don't want to overload our portfolio with semiconductor stocks. So we have to be a little careful there. Palo Alto we have in it. Fortinet we have in there. They're both in the cybersecurity along with CrowdStrike. So yeah, when we look at the QQQs, and we have a portfolio, top stocks, which are about a dozen. Top stocks in the QQQ, that has been our best performing portfolio since I can remember. Every year it outperforms. The second best portfolio are the top stocks in the top ETFs, which are some of the ETFs we just went over, and we have those stocks in there. There's about 18 stocks in that portfolio. And our third best performing portfolio are our 30 stock growth portfolio, which we've had for 22 years, and it has outperformed the S&P 500 on a compounded basis 2.5 times to 1 over the past 22 years. And remember the Morningstar report that says, they came out and they said, according to our calculations, 96% of professional money managers who run the publicly traded mutual funds, 96% of them over any 10-year period cannot outperform the S&P 500. And here we are with our 30 stock portfolio that outperforms 2.5 times to 1, outperforming the S&P 500. So we're outperforming over 96% of those professional money managers out there. And then the top stocks in the QQQ are best performing portfolio, up 400% in the past 5 years. And then the top stocks in our top ETF portfolio, about 18 stocks, and that has been the second best performing portfolio over the past 7 or 8 or 9 years that we've had that portfolio. So folks, that's what you have to do in order to get good performing portfolios, is to go into each index, each ETF, find the best stocks, which it certainly looks like we have, haven't we? And those are the stocks, because if you pick the above average stocks in any index, in any ETF, in any mutual fund, if you pick the above average stocks and leave the below average stocks for somebody else to buy, you will outperform that index almost 100% of the time. So folks, here we are at the end of the week already. It's the weekend, and you take your mind off the market, and don't forget, you don't have to go through all those ETFs like I just did. All you got to do is follow our portfolios, nice and easy. We give them to you right on that page that we were looking on. Just scroll down, and there they are. And it's the weekend. Take your mind off the market. You don't have to do anything. Just go out, enjoy yourself, be with your family, be with your loved ones, have a Sunday dinner with them. That would be nice. But most of all, go out, be safe, and we'll see you right back here in a couple of days.